Brian Early, field agronomist here in north central Indiana with another update. This update will be about crown rot. Starting last week, I was down in the Kokomo area and I started to notice on my drive back north plants that were dying from the top down, specifically noticing the flag leaf or the last leaf that came out was starting to die. And often that's an indication that we've got some top dieback, which is often the result of some rots down in the crown of the plant or where the roots come into the stalk. So I wanted to talk about that this afternoon and just give an update on why it happens and some of the things that brings it out. So this picture I took today, and this really sums it up well. I titled this A Tale of Two Plants, and I literally took two plants that were next to each other, one with crown rot and one without, and dissected them to show you some of the features and talk about what happens. So the thing I'm looking for is that dead plant there within a population, and then I start to cut it open and see what happened. So as we cut it open, there's one area that I'm looking for, and it's going to be this crown area that would be right here where I'm circling. I'm looking down in that area to see if there's rot down in there, especially where them first nodal roots come in, and to see if that pathway is messed up or treated. These are the same two plants in the picture. You can see the ear diameter is much less on the plant that checked out early and died early, as well as the healthy plant. You can see that crown area instead of being that brownish color is that nice, healthy green color that we like to see. And here's a zoomed in picture of those two plants as well. So not only can you see that the area down here in this healthy plant, how it's nice and looks very nice, but look in the plant on the other side where we've got this pith. This pith is disintegrated. That means the plant's been taking that nutrients and food and moving it back up to the ear to try to develop it. And then you see the classic area down in here where it's just totally rotted and browned out, where the crown rot, the fungus has come in and routed that area, basically shut off all the nutrient pathway up into the stalk, causing that plant to die. So one thing that you always see with it is those plants, they check out early, they will be much drier. Looking at the milk line on both the unaffected and the infected plant, the milk line is much further down on the infected plant. It's going to have a more rubbery cob appearance to it, and the kernels are going to be much smaller than the plant next to it that was unaffected. And so the crown rot itself, it gets in the plant early in the season, and what we need is a stress late in the season to bring it out. So I think there's two stresses probably contributing to seeing this more in the field this year. Is the cloudiness that we had after the hurricane. For about 2 to 3 weeks, we were awful cloudy, especially in far northern Indiana. And then on top of that, the week of heat and low humidity and no rain that we had last week was probably really a big driver for having these show out. So you need wetness early for that infection to get going. So when I talk about early, I'm talking knee high to probably waist high, and maybe a little taller is that infection period when that's getting into them growing plants before tassel, and then you need that stress late to amplify that. So it's a very complex a series of diseases. So we call them crown rots because there's numerous species that can cause them. Likely, it's probably some type of fusarium fungus. And one thing have we seen crown rot over the years? It's often pretty planting date specific. So we may see 2 or 3 days where it's very prevalent in those planting days, and then the other planting days you'll see very little or none. And it's often very geographic specific too. So we might battle it in this area in early planted corn, and then 5-10 miles away we might not wrestle with it at all. And often that lines up with a big rain event early in the season. The other thing is hybrids differ in their tolerance. So in the past, when we've wrestled with crown rot, we've always seen certain hybrids take it less. And that's one thing as we do our impact local testing, the 2 years before hybrids are commercialized, we pay special attention to plants that die backwards. So we're looking for them flashy leaves up top right before harvest to see if a plant is susceptible to developing crown rots. So within the Pioneer lineup, we've done a good job of knocking those hybrids out when we see it. So you think about our testing across the country, all the product agronomists are looking for this to show up, and they share notes, and often we can kill hybrids to that show up for this. So something we've been more in tune with and trying to use genetics as much as possible to help manage that. So while we're not able to completely alleviate crown rot from the farming community, it sure would be nice if we could. So that's kind of an update on crown rot. If you have any questions, please send them our way. Thank you.